Ever wondered what makes Pi Network stand out from the crowded world of cryptocurrencies? Imagine a digital currency that's not just a speculative asset, but something you could actually use to buy everyday items or pay your bills. Sounds revolutionary, right? But here's the twist. Turning Pi into a widely accepted currency isn't a simple task. It's like trying to change the rules of the game while everyone's still playing. Today, we're diving into the seismic shifts Pi could bring to the financial landscape, the hurdles it faces, and why it's making waves among governments and financial giants alike. Buckle up, because this journey through the world of Pi Network is about to get fascinating. So what do you think is the biggest challenge Pi Network will face on its road to becoming a mainstream currency? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're there, drop Pi Network to the moon, along with your country name to show your support and see how global our Pi community really is. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates and in-depth insights into Pi Network and other exciting crypto developments. Just a reminder, this video is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered investment advice. Always do your own research before making any financial decisions. Alright, let's get started and delve into the details of how Pi Network is shaping the future of finance and the challenges it's up against. First things first, let's talk about what Pi really is. Have you ever stopped to think about it? It's not just another crypto project. No, it's way bigger than that. Pi is aiming to become a real currency, like the kind you could use to buy goodies or pay your bills. But here's the kicker. Pi coin becoming a currency isn't a walk in the park. It's like trying to change the rules of a game while everyone's still playing. You've got governments, big financial players, and all sorts of people who might not be too happy about it. For this reason, many governments and big financial players are afraid of what the Pi Network can do once it's ready 100%. It's like Pi is saying, hey, we're gonna shake things up a bit. That's not just business as usual, that's a revolution. Now, you might be wondering, why would governments and big banks be worried about Pi? Well, buckle up, because this is where things get really interesting. Think about it, governments use traditional money to control things like inflation and interest rates. It's how they keep the economy stable. But with Pi, they can't do that. It's like trying to steer a car when someone else has the wheel. And then there's the whole regulation thing. You know how banks have to follow all these rules? Well, with Pi, it's not so easy to keep track of everything. It's like trying to count fish in a river. They're always moving. But it's not just about control. There are some real worries about stability too. You know how Bitcoin prices go up and down like a roller coaster? Well, if Pi became really big, those kinds of swings could affect a lot of people. Here's something that might surprise you. Governments are worried about people losing faith in banks. Imagine if everyone suddenly decided to keep their money in Pi instead of the bank. It could cause some serious problems. Now let's talk about taxes for a second. With regular money, the government can see who's paying what. But with Pi, it's not so easy. You know how we're always hearing about hackers and scams? Well, with new currencies like Pi, there's a whole new playground for the bad guys. It's like we're building a brand new city, and we need to make sure we've got good locks on all the doors. But here's the thing that really gets me thinking. What if Pi changes everything? I mean, we're talking about shaking up how money works all over the world. It's like when cars replaced horses. Suddenly, everything had to change. And you know what else? There's this big question about fairness. Some people worry that new currencies like Pi might make the rich richer and leave everyone else behind. Now here's where it gets really tricky. The law. You know how there are rules for everything? Well, with Pi, we're in new territory. It's like we've discovered a new country, and now we need to figure out all the laws. And let's not forget about protecting people. The government wants to make sure that if you put your money into something, you're not going to lose it all. With Pi, that's a whole new challenge. But you know what? Despite all these challenges, Pi is still growing. It's like a little seed that's turning into a big tree, even though the weather is not always perfect. Remember when you first joined Pi? I bet it was nothing like you expected. There was barely any info out there, right? Just a white paper and some Zoom chats. No fancy videos, no step-by-step guides. We were all just figuring it out as we went along. Here's a question for you. Do you remember who told you about Pi, or how it even got to your country? It's crazy to think about, but most of us don't even know who the early pioneers were. They were out there spreading the word, and we didn't even realize it. But here's the really mind-blowing part. Despite all that, Pi grew like crazy. In less than 8 months, they hit 10 million members without spending a dime on marketing. How insane is that? It's like Pi had some magic that just drew people in. Let's talk about those early days for a second. If you joined before 2021 or 2022, you probably remember just tapping that button every day, right? We had no clue about mining sessions or reward formulas. We were just happy to be part of something new. But Pi had some surprises up its sleeve. It turns out those early birds got some pretty sweet rewards. It's like Pi was saying, hey, thanks for believing in us from the start. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Have you been keeping an eye on the blockchain network? It's like a roller coaster ride. One day China's in the lead, the next Japan's numbers are through the roof. Singapore and the US are in on the action too. It's like watching a global game of musical chairs. But here's the thing that's really got me scratching my head. The numbers don't quite add up. Pi says there are about 250,000 nodes out of 120 million members. But when I look around, it seems like way more people are running nodes. What do you think? Have you noticed this too? And don't even get me started on the ecosystem. Every hackathon brings new ideas. But nothing's quite hit the bullseye yet. Even PiChain Mall, which seemed like a sure thing, didn't quite make it. Pi is playing a whole different game, and we're figuring out the rules. It's not just about making money. It's about transforming how we think about money and transactions. We're part of a global community, working towards a shared goal, even if we don't always see the full picture. The most important thing is that we're in this together. Whether you're new or a longtime member, you're part of the Pi family and we support each other. So what's next for Pi? We don't know for sure, but that's the thrill of it. Next time you chat with fellow Pi users, ask them what excites them and what they think is coming. Reach out to new members, share experiences, and grow our community. Every action you take helps shape the future of money. Are you ready to keep pushing forward and be part of this revolution? I know I am, and I'm glad to have you all with me. Wow, that was a deep dive into the Pi network and its potential to shake up the world of finance. We've explored how Pi aims to become more than just a speculative asset and the monumental challenges it faces on its journey to mainstream acceptance. From regulatory hurdles to stability concerns and the revolutionary changes Pi could bring, it's clear that this is a project making waves on a global scale. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you the latest updates and in-depth insights about Pi Network and the broader world of cryptocurrency. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest challenge Pi Network will face on its road to becoming a mainstream currency? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have any contributions or questions about Pi Network or cryptocurrency in general, feel free to leave them in the comments section as well. Thanks for tuning in, and let's continue this exciting journey together. Stay tuned for more updates, and remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research before making any financial decisions. Until next time, keep pushing forward and stay curious.